Thank you so much for joining us. The second Belt and Road Forum for Cooperation has ended in Beijing after China's president was at a roundtable to agree on the framework for cooperation before the next forum in 2 years.
The leaders reached consensus on cooperation, identified priorities and mechanisms for the Belt and Road Initiative, while the Nigerian ambassador to China, Baba Ahmed Jidda, commended the Chinese government for the initiative. Julieta Aina reports.
The Chinese capital, Beijing, is almost back to normal as most delegates have ended their sessions at the BRI Forum and started departing the city. The leaders, on the other hand, got busy at a round table to chart the next course of action for high-quality development of the Belt and Road Initiative. The Leaders' Summit, which was chaired by Chinese President Xi Jinping, was held at the Yanqi Lake International Convention Exhibition Center. President Xi stressed the importance of connectivity in promoting growth among countries on the Belt and Road.
He answered all the question marks.
While some participants have been reacting to the various issues raised by the Chinese leader at the opening ceremony, the Nigerian ambassador to China, Baba Ahmed Jidda, sees it as an opportunity Nigeria should make the most of.
This is an additional source of funding to African countries. It provides more funds than even the Forum for China-Africa Cooperation. So it is a development that is positive.
He assured that the BRI presents more opportunities for speedy development of the country, adding that the presence of Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed, Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, and DG NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed was greatly appreciated by the Chinese leadership.
African countries are gravitating towards China because of the concessional facility that is being provided by them through the sources of Forum for China-Africa Cooperation and now the Belt and Road Initiative.
The ambassador, who had earlier received the ministers at the embassy, also played host to DG NTA at the mission after the forum, where he commended the Nigerian Television Authority for what he called an excellent coverage of the 2019 general elections. From Beijing, China, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
Now, the Presidential Committee Against Corruption is collaborating with the National Orientation Agency to rid the country of corrupt practices. To this end, a stakeholders meeting convened by the committee and the agency was held in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital. Austin Ayebe completes the story.
It has been established that one thing that has undermined development in Nigeria is corruption. Hence, the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, upon assumption of office in 2015, made the fight against corruption as a cardinal objective.
Until we all accept that the fight against corruption is personal, it's me. I have to stop whatever I do that I know is corruption.
To fight what is described as a monster, several strategies were mapped out, not only to fight corruption, but also sensitizing the citizenry.
Fighting corruption is not for the president alone. It's not for EFCC, ICPC, or Code of Conduct Bureau, but it's a business that everybody has to play a part.
The only way we can fight is to go back to value reorientation.
In a lecture on value reorientation and fight against corruption by Chief Femi Ajisafe, he stressed the need for Nigerians to imbibe the core values, which include loyalty, honesty, discipline, diligence, and accountability. Kogi State government, represented by the Director General Bureau of Information and Grassroots Mobilization, Abdulmalik Abdulkarim, said the program by the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption will go a long way to sensitizing people at the grassroots against the societal ills. NOAA is expected to drive the program at the rural areas in Lokoja. Amos Danyebe, NTA News.
And now to other matters of interest. Relief materials worth millions of naira have been presented to internally displaced persons in Niger State, who commended the federal government's efforts towards ameliorating the challenges in the camps.
Mukhtar Abubakar will report that this was by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons in Mina.
The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk, represented at the symbolic presentation of the relief items, says the intervention is meant to give the necessary support needed by the IDPs to address some of their challenges. The relief materials donated to the IDPs are building materials, foodstuff, and other non-food items.
So basically, our major concern when it comes to IDPs is how to bring them back to normal livelihood. We also try to give them support in terms of psychosocial therapy.
We have a system in place, a system of distribution that we usually look at the basic needs, these IDP needs.
The representatives of the internally displaced persons affected by flood and banditry attacks in the state lauded the efforts of the federal government for making them feel at home, even though at IDP's camps.
So I thank God to the federal government. I'm very happy today.
Extend my appreciation to the President. We are very grateful.
Niger State has 3 formal camps with over 4,000 internally displaced persons. In Mina, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
And to security matters now, troops of Operation Arbin Kunama and Duran Mekia has neutralized 4 armed bandits and arrested 7 suspected informants in Zamfara State.
The suspects, including Vice Chairman and Local Government Council, have been handed over to the police for further interrogation. Jamilu Ibrahim has details.
With the launching of the Operation Harbin Kunama 3 on 1st April 2019, additional troops were injected to dominate the theater of the various military operations aimed at ending the activities of armed bandits in Zamfara, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Katsina states.
A total number of 4 bandits were neutralized, while 7 suspected informants and logisticians were arrested. Prominent among these categories of suspects is the Vice Chairman of Anka Local Government Area, Alhaji Yahuza Ibrahim.
The troops, acting on credible information, intercepted a vehicle conveying large quantities of food items to bandits in the bush.
Similarly, on the same day, a suspected logistics supplier was arrested along Makera Maradon Road. The suspect was in possession of large consignment of assorted toiletries, cooking and household items.
Exhibits recovered during the operations include assorted weapons, 28 motorcycles, as well as bags of hard drugs, Indian hemp and local charms. While commending members of the various vigilante groups and local hunters for their support to the troops operating in their communities, the force urged all law-abiding citizens to continue to volunteer timely information to the security agencies for prompt action. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, troops of Operation Wild Stroke deployed to counter banditry activities in the North Central have rescued 3 kidnapped victims in an alleged family compound of a notorious criminal in Bese Katsina Ala local government area of Benue State. A statement by the Acting Director Defense Information, Kone Onyema Nwachuku, indicates that the victims rescued during a raid were reportedly abducted about 2 months ago in Boko, Benue State. Troops are still on the trail of the criminals who fled the Aren cave after they were overpowered. The rescued persons have been handed over to the Benue State government for medical attention before reuniting them with their respective families. Similarly, troops deployed to Giza in Nasarawa State have arrested a bandit during a raid on a suspected hideout at Alima near Kadako in Nasarawa State. The bandit, intercepted with a locally made rifle, is assisting investigations.
And still on security matters, sequel to the arrest of one Malam Salisu Abubakar, a spiritual father of kidnappers and bandits operating in the northern part of the country. Police detectives attached to the Operation Puff Adder have successfully arrested 18 more notorious bandits. 22 AK-47 rifles, 5 locally fabricated pistols and a cache of live ammunition were also recovered. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, DCP Frankuba, says the successful operation is due to the directive by the Acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Abubakar, on tactical operations in the forest of Kaduna, Katsina, Niger, and Kogi State. The police says some of the arrested suspects have been linked to some of the recent crimes in the region and reassures Nigerians of their security at all times.
And in continuation of events marking the Nigerian Air Force at 55, an interdenominational church service focusing on Thanksgiving has been held at St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church, now based Abuja. Najato Tijani reports.
Up in the sky. One day I will join him up in the sky. This is a song the Nigerian Air Force can identify with in its duty of securing the Nigerian airspace, and now its personnel from various denominations have come to give thanks for 55 years of serving the nation meritoriously. Readings taken from Revelations 4, Acts 5, John 20 and Psalm 21 were the cornerstone of a sermon on the significance of gratitude, where the Nigerian Air Force was likened to a joyful king who finds favor in God's sight, delivered by the chaplains of the Protestant and Catholic arms of the service.
For hours and land well, how faithful has God been? Do we have reason to appreciate God?
Various forms of praise and worship glorifying God for keeping the armed forces in the face of insurgency, banditry, and other security challenges were demonstrated by the combined choir, personnel, and members of the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association, NAFOA, with a prayer to avert any disasters in NAF operations, led by the representative of the Chief of the Air Staff and other officers.
Of course, not to mention our personnel and equipment, the many new equipment that have been inducted. I am talking of airplanes or aircraft and other platforms.
You might say that this gathering is a demonstration of the unity which the Nigerian armed forces, including the Air Force, constantly strive to keep in their duty of defending Nigeria against insurgency, banditry, and other forms of insecurity. Najato Tijani, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 and NTA News 24, still ahead.
Correspondent takes a look at federal government's intensives on fruits production for export. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
Advertising your goods and services on the right channel gives you an edge over your competitors. NTA News 24 has all the platforms for your target audience. The station is on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46, StarTimes channel 101, and Free TV channel 703. With our digital format and wide range, we can reach your customers in next to no time. We are eager to promote your business, goods, and services. So, partner with us for a very rewarding business experience. For more information, please call Henry on 0803-379-0884 or visit our office at NTA Headquarters, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. NTA News 24. News and more news.
Many thanks for staying tuned. The federal government ministries are working to harmonize various policies and programs to address the challenge of water and sanitation in the country. This is the new commitment of the 4th Inter-Ministerial Dialogue on Sanitation. Musbah Dan Wahab reports.
It is well understood the challenge of water and sanitation is too critical to be left for the Water Resources Ministry alone to solve. So, relevant ministers joined in this dialogue on how to address this issue, which may soon project Nigeria negatively to the world. Sanitation, with open defecation at the center. Only 19.2% of Nigerian population are in safely sanitized environments, while 18.2% have unimproved sanitation, and 47 million people still practice open defecation.
Our different ministries here today have been identified as key stakeholders in the sanitation business.
with the current situation in homes and public places like markets, motor parks and schools across the country. 3 million toilets need to be constructed annually from now to 2030 to attain the SDGs targets. And for this to happen, the ministers agreed it requires collective efforts.
That we need to move the nation to this consciousness. There's a national battle for wellness. And it comes from water supply, it comes from behavior.
And we're going to include mental health management issues in our gender policy, which is under review with the support of the African Development Bank.
We are not in short supply of policies. What we need support from the states.
Water Resources Ministry has put in place several policies and programs subsumed in the WASH Action Plan recently launched by the President to turn things around. But the minister says attitudinal change remains fundamental in achieving holistic results in the sector. In Abuja, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Musbah. Now, talking about water, I think we need to change our attitude with the way we use water, really. Most of us waste water.
Yes, I like the fact that all hands are on deck, to put an end to this scourge, which is actually deepening in Nigerian society.
And I think we need regulation as well.
Right.
And out of food production, Nigeria continues to make quantum leaps in the production of fruits and vegetables in Africa. But taking its pride of place in the global arena is posing a source of concern for many stakeholders.
Correspondent Musa Babaliu takes a look at incentives put in place by government and the dogged determination by the public sector to woo indigents and foreign partners to grow the country's multi-billion-naira fruit and vegetable business.
That Nigeria has set itself as the major producer of fruits and vegetables in Africa and the third largest in the world, producing more than 1.1 million tons annually, is only stating the obvious. Though the country is nowhere to be found in global export business table of the produce. Investigations, however, reveal that only 35% of the fruits and vegetables produced in the country are consumed and processed, while the remaining 75% perish before they get to the market shelves. Agriculturists attribute the development to inadequate processing centers and, in some areas, a total absence of storage facilities.
Some Indians, they will come here, buy the fresh ginger, clean it, wash it. Then they came with their splitting machine. They will split it. And once they take it outside, they will say it's either Ethiopian ginger or any other African country instead of Nigerian ginger.
Quite worrisome to the government is the money the country loses through the importation of fruit juice annually, including coconut, cashew, watermelon juice, among other products.
If sub-Saharan African countries such as Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya, South Africa, Malawi, just to mention a few, are exporting fruits, even meat and vegetables and flowers and other such agricultural commodities to countries across the world, there is no reason why Nigeria should be facing the embarrassment of constant rejections.
Incentives by the federal government through the central bank are in place to encourage producers and processors of fruits to upscale production. This development is expected to increase production and volume of fruits and vegetables in the country and grow its export capacity.
So in the area of palm oil, in which we have comparative advantage, so the main thing we're asking for in that area is assistance with which to build a modern oil mill. Shea butter also, we already have some investors that are going into shea butter production and value chain addition. So we are also encouraging it. And as you are aware, already over 10,000 hectares of land in Zone A is being, concessioned to investors.
For now, Nigeria is earning only about $1 million from the export of fruit and vegetables, while countries like Cameroon, Tanzania, Kenya, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana trail with earnings in billions of dollars. From Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Association of National Accountants of Nigeria has pledged to collaborate with the federal government in the fight against corruption and strengthen transparency both in the private and public sectors.
This was at the investiture of its new president as the association sought better understanding among professional accounting bodies. Joy Uzo reports.
With contributions to the advancement of the nation in the past 4 decades, ANAN has become a global brand affiliated to Pan-African Federation Accountants, the Edibon Group, and other globally recognized accounting organizations. ANAN, among other things, is committed to building strong institutions for development, and this is the outgone president.
Key activities of ANAN.
Aspects of the event were the unveiling of new logos for ANAN and Nigerian College of Accountancy to symbolize renewed commitment to the accounting profession. In Abuja, I'm Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Into talking business, the World Bank's April commodity market outlook says crude oil prices are expected to average $66 a barrel this year and $65 a barrel in 2020. Details with Kolo Mohammed.
Good morning and many thanks for joining us on Business News at this time. According to its April commodity markets outlook, the World Bank says crude oil prices are expected to average $66 a barrel this year and $65 a barrel in 2020. This is a downward revision from the October forecast due to the weaker than expected global growth outlook and greater than anticipated United States production. Oil prices will moderate from their current highs and be lower on average in 2019 than in 2018 on slower than expected global growth and rising non-OPEC production. According to the latest commodity markets outlook, metal and agriculture prices are on track to stage a partial recovery with momentum likely to pick up in 2020. A Nigerian expert is concerned.
But fundamentally, we have to think of alternative ways to resolve this issue so that we don't rely again on our oil resources. This is because we need to understand that before the oil, we have an economy. At level of family, at the level of organizations, at the level of national. So we should go back to the history, and this history is entrepreneurship. The moment we realize this on time, Nigeria will be proud that we are Nigerians. Nigerians, let me put it from this perspective now. What should we focus on that is sustainable? The best we can think of is the human capital through agriculture. The agricultural sector can deliver Nigeria, in fact, can safely deliver us. But the moment we are out of that track, we can go back. Let me be sincere with you. Do you know that in this country, Nigeria, it is the only place that we can see our soil, because of the quality of the soil we have, it can accommodate cash and food crops.
Trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange market opened for the week today. Trading is still ongoing as we speak. We shall bring you how the market indices play out when the market ends later today. That's Business News at this time. I am Kolo Mohammed, thanking you for being with us.
Many thanks, Khalil Mohammed. And you're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More news ahead, to stay tuned.
What is fake news? A false information with no verifiable source presented as true story.
Telecast. Please stay tuned.
Together, governors of 36 states of the Federation to review the state of economy and adopt measures aimed at addressing challenges and providing direction for its growth. Your Excellency, I thank you on behalf of my colleagues for finding time to grace this all-important event. Equally, I thank His Excellencies, the state governors, for the marvelous opportunity and support you have given me to steer the affairs of our forum from 2015 to date. My stewardship has indeed offered me a remarkable knowledge and experience on issues of governance on a wider spectrum. Together, we have struggled to build a robust and harmonious relationship with the federal government, which help in preventing the hiccups and friction often experienced in the federal system of government such as ours. Particularly, I want to use this opportunity to express our gratitude to Mr. President, who state of the Federation along holders, and he did the best he could to ensure the social economic stability of the state. He enormously intervention from debilitating economic challenges, but also to me. Mr. President took over responsibility sometimes in June. Recognized that about 27 states were experiencing difficulty in settling their workers' monthly salaries, developing salaries, not developing the infrastructure development. Mr. President, intervention through salary out, capital market, from capital market to the Central Bank of Nigeria, the infrastructure development funds, London Paris Club refunds, infrastructure development refunds, Anchor Borrowers Program, budget support has significantly solved the situation of our states. Even though many of the states have fared well by executing projects, many of which were inaugurated by His Excellency President and his Vice President and other eminent personalities, there is still the need for states to work harder to boost their internally generated revenue, to enable them execute more projects and development and reduce over-dependence on the Federation account as the means of promoting the social well-being of their people. Economy on the right track and insulate it from the frequent crisis, stemming from the absolute reliance on oil. We must look seriously into the need to diversify the economy by investing enormous resources in agriculture, mining, industrialization. I appreciate the fact that the current administration has accorded agriculture to top priority by instituting measures that steadily control the importation of foreign rice. This is in addition to the Anchor Borrowers Program, through which the sum of 200 billion naira was expanded.
Welcome to Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
In the country and provides raw materials for our local industries. If 1/3 of the amount was dedicated to agriculture, industrialization, energy, and mining, the state of the economy will will have been different by now. Some agricultural products are even more expensive in the international market than oil. Malaysia, for example, is lifting up a lot from palm oil to boost their and source of revenue for the government. While the commodity is not making any significant contribution to Nigerian foreign exchange, even though the country sourced the seed of palm from Nigeria in the early 1980s. Mr. Vice President, distinguished, there is no better time for us to pay more serious attention to the issues of diversification than now, when the world is moving away from carbon fuel to biofuel and electric vehicle. It is expected that by 2030, and advanced countries will be powered by electricity, which is green-friendly with low carbon emission. When this happens, it will spell doom for our economy if we have not fight. In the long run, a full diversification of the economy will entail shifting away from of commodity, be it gold or any agricultural product. In today's pre-market economy, sustainable growth and genuine development could only be achieved on the basis of industrialization rather than export on primary commodity. It is time to articulate our industrialization policy, ensure improved power supply in order to achieve our goal of industrialization and meet our target of joining the 20 most advanced economy in no distance time. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, as some of us are existing as handmen of our various states, let me quickly remind the new and the returning governors that it may be not totally be smooth ride. On our part, we made a lot of achievement in infrastructure development and provision of social services because we enjoy the relatively higher price of about 100 to 114 and 2014. However, by 2014, the price of crude oil, which is sadly the main driving force of government expenditure, dropped to 75 to $1. Continued to down to 88 and second quarter of 2016, where some of the states make it difficult for them to pay. This scenario took a call to come and prepare to face these kind of challenges, especially since we are expecting the possibility of another cycle of recession and also utilize them effectively for execution of projects that will touch the life of our people. You must not forget the high expectation of our people on us now that the democracy is maturing day in, day out. The challenges of governance and service delivery are more demanding. It is imperative to know that the governance forum under my chairmanship and the National Economic Council, we have been discussing and totally agreeing that the borrowing is never a reliable alternative to solving our economic problem. We must work harder among all the tiers of government to multiply our revenue generation base so that together we change the course of doing government business for the betterment of our people. In so doing,